This is going to be a little bit of a rough episode today. I just want to get that out of the way before I even start. It might not be one of my better ones. But I fucking need this immediately before anything else. Welcome back to EggWars, by the way. So I'm filming this right now. It's about 6 p.m. So by the time I get this out, it's going to be like 9 p.m. So people are probably going to be thinking I didn't do anything today. For that, I apologize. But you're probably wondering why I have these crutches and why I just hobbled over to the fucking filming area here. So let me give you a little bit of context. This isn't going to be what today's EggWars is all about. But let me give you a little bit of context as to what happened. So it was actually Friday originally. Friday, I was here. My sleep schedule has been, I usually go to sleep kind of early, like 9, 10 o'clock at night. So I had been asleep already, but I got a message on Snapchat from one of my good internet friends who told me, they said, listen, hey, you want to hang out? What's up? What's going on? But it was at like midnight or some shit like that. So I was well asleep. So that didn't happen. Now, last night, after I uploaded EggWars yesterday, I was kind of dicking around on the computer some more, and I happened to notice my phone had some messages. So I went to check the messages on my phone, and it was messages from my very good friend Pizza, who I'm sure many of you are familiar with. So I was like, oh, hey, Pizza, what's going on? And Pizza's like, oh, hey, those, your internet friends, well, they're also, friends of Pizza. So Pizza's like, hey, we want to chill. Let's go chill. We want to hang out and everything. So I'm thinking to myself, at first, before they indicated they wanted to come hang out with me, I was thinking like I was gonna go see them, but up out of the way a little more. So anyways, I said, yeah, we want to come hang out, we want to come chill. So I was like, shit, I don't know, because there was a big football game today. If you don't know, there was a big football game, so there was a lot of shit going on. My relatives are all getting prepared for this big football game. Everything's all football mania, so I'm trying to think to myself, I'm like, well, yeah, I think you guys can come over and everything. Well, I ended up, after I told them that was okay, I kind of thought to myself, I was like, this is going to probably be really boring and shitty, because I wasn't intending on them coming down in my basement at all, because I'm like, I live in absolute goddamn filth, and it's disgusting and everything. But I was like, God, you know what? I should probably fucking pick up the basement. I should probably make it inhabitable for people. We should probably just chill down here, because this is going to be the more entertaining spot to chill. So I actually surprised myself, to be honest. Like, the way I've been living, and it's by no means a spotless area, don't get me wrong, but like the cleaning took me like not even a half an hour probably, and it was the most cleaning I've done probably this entire year. So it just kind of goes to show you, other than like picking up my trash, that's like the most cleaning I ever do, is like picking up my trash and throwing it away. That's about it. So anyways, this lovely crew of people arrived to my humble abode. We made some pizza, some supreme pizza. We had snacks, we had drinks. Everything was cool, everything was popping. We were all having a great time, which we did. Honestly, now, even after a few hiccups that occurred, it was still a fantastic time. I'd love for this to happen again sometime. But anyways, we'd all been drinking a little bit, and I had everything all set up to be all cool. I got the biggest TV that I have access to plugged in with my computer plugged into it, HDMI, running the sound through that. It sounds good, pretty decent. So we're watching TV shows, we're watching anime, and then when we started listening to music, of course, me, I'm a goddamn fiend, especially after I've been drinking. So we're putting on some music and shit, and I'm dancing like a motherfucking madman. It's the basement, but there's a pretty, I guess you could say it's a rug. I don't know. It's like I guess it's carpeting, but it's more or less just like a really big rug that we got in the basement down here. So I'm busting the moves. We're listening to that fucking Streamus song. Gang, 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 no sleep, gang, 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 gang. Woo! And we're listening to fucking 80s music. I'm putting on some gangster rap. We're listening to some fucking like psychedelic 1970s funky funk, all this shit. And I'm dancing, and all of a sudden, something I've never had happen before happens to me, and that is I'm kind of, you know, I'm light on my feet, I'm doing a little fancy footwork, and I come down on my right foot, like, you know, instead of going out like this, I kind of somehow came down like, you know, my foot kind of coming down on like the side of my foot like this, and my entire foot like fucking rolled over, and there was just this disgusting noise, like, and it was loud, and I fucking just, boom, right on the floor, couldn't get up, and I'm like, oh. I was drunk, but I could still tell I was sitting there just like the fucking sweating from like the pain. I knew, like, part of my body knew that there was pain, and I was laying there and I was like, oh yeah, this is probably bad. But the thing is, you know, as per the usual, you know, I took it easy for the rest of the night. I wasn't feeling too bad, you know. Once again, of course, I had been drinking, and you know, eventually some hours later, you know, we drank. You know, at first, you know, we drank like when the guys came over, we drank then, but then, you know, then they ended up staying late, and then we all kind of ended up sobering up. But at that time, I was pretty much like, you know, in bed anyway, because, you know, I was just kind of like relaxing and shit. So, you know, not a lot of pressure, not a lot of reasoning to, you know, whatever. So they ended up leaving, and I go to sleep, and I wake up, you know, about an hour and a half later, and I'm just like, fuck. I cannot sleep. My foot hurts like a bitch. We got to do some shit about this. Now, I didn't go to the doctor or anything. You know, I don't really do that. I don't like to go to the doctor, so I didn't go to the doctor. But I already had these crutches that I had owned previously, and I just took some extra strength Tylenol, Advil, whatever, and I just fucking I've been hobbling around today since. So. Also, I don't know, my GoPro got knocked over, and one of the, there's a part, this is supposed to be like the little suction part for one of the the door on the GoPro where the sync cable goes in. I don't know what the fuck happened. This is broken off, apparently. So my GoPro is not going to be too waterproof anymore, I guess. Let's see what else. Oh, and I accidentally gave I don't know, I guess, I'm not going to name names, I'm not trying to dox anybody or anything, but the nice young lady who was one of the people who came over, I think I accidentally gave her my brother's sunglasses, and so I owe him a new pair of sunglasses, I'm pretty sure. So other than that, and also I got a bunch of shit to clean up because there's still fucking drink cups and cans and confetti. We shot the fucking confetti gun that I have. If you weren't in my streams when I got it, you probably don't know about it, but I got this confetti gun like around after 4th of July because it was like discounted. And so I got this confetti gun with like 60 shots of confetti, and I'm pretty sure we fucking fired like 40 shots of confetti. It's everywhere. It's in my bed, it's on the floor, it's on the stairs, it's just goddamn everywhere. It's in the drinks. We're fucking drinking. When we ran out of alcohol, we were just still trying to like sip around the confetti that had fallen in the drinks. Pizza with confetti on it. It was a hoot. It was a blast. But yeah, so I'm just gonna be taking it easy. I got some big shit coming up where I gotta, you know, basically be better. You know, this is kind of I don't think it's gonna throw any wrenches in any of my plans, but I got some big shit that I'm gonna be working on coming up in like the next week or so, and this might cause issues. So I'm gonna try and just stay off my feet. I don't know, like I almost want to just like take a hiatus of EggWars for like a few days just so I don't have to like get out of bed for anything, but that's pretty unrealistic. I'm still gonna have to get up to eat, and I'm sure something's gonna come up where I'm gonna have to probably go out and drive somewhere. So I'm not gonna be a little bitch about it. I'm gonna get it figured out, and I'm gonna just handle the business. And if I gotta wear a fucking cast, or I gotta be in a wheelchair, I gotta walk around with my crutches, just is what it is. But hopefully, I don't think it's broken though. It's just kind of fucked up. It's swollen and purple and looks kind of nasty, but I've had broken bones. I don't think it's broken. All right. But enough of all that business. You know, we wasted plenty of time on that shit already. But what we want to talk about today is a topic I had suggested from somebody who talks to me a lot on Twitter. They said to me, you know what? You need to talk about e-daters. E-dating it's a sickness. It's horrible. E-dating needs to stop. E-dating is a fucking placebo. It is not. It's basically this fucking placebo. It's this Band-Aid fix for your loneliness. You know, you fucking talk to somebody with an anime profile picture on Twitter and fucking send them hearts to each other and say that you're like e-boyfriend and e-girlfriend, even though you're probably both men. You know, and that's like mending this loneliness in your heart, and it's like it's not ever gonna help you improve and get better. So they said you gotta talk about this e-dating. And I said, well, what motherfucker is better to talk about e-dating than somebody who's basically had goddamn virtually 100% of the female contact I've ever had in my life has been in the last like 4 years, and also all off the internet. So I'm like, fuck it, let's take a crack at it. We'll see what's up. So starting off on it, you know, I can't, like, in good conscience, like, I do know people who, gosh, you know what, I can't really call it e-dating though. I was gonna say, because the thing about e-dating, it's a very fickle thing, which is something I had to learn the hard way, as some of you know. When you're talking about e-dating, there's usually like, okay, let's say, you know, it starts off like the mildest type of shit is like, if you're, like I said before, you know, you're, you know, Bob 123 and this is Sally 123, and you're like, you send, you know, IMs to each other and you're like, ooh, I love you, blah, 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 blah. You're talking on fucking Discord or AIM or MSN, whatever generation you're from, emails, whatever the case might be. That is some naive shit. Like, I would never, like, if you are somebody who's doing that, I'm sorry, but that is definitely the most, like, we gotta stop sort of tier of e-dating that there is, because it's like, you know what, if you talk to some chick online for like 3 or 4 years and you're expecting that, like, you know, after 3 or 4 years you're gonna finally meet up and be in love because you all know everything about each other and everything's all that shit, it's just like, you probably really only need to, if that's kind of your angle, you probably really maybe need to talk to this chick like maybe, you know, a few months beforehand maximum to get like all the knowledge and everything, or whatever you want to, all the tastes, all the ideas and the behaviors, wherever you can discern, just from an email or a text or even a phone call. Because like when you're starting to spend time with this chick for real, you know, you can fucking email 100 times, you're gonna have shit, you know, you don't show everything about yourself, you know, even if you feel like you're open, you don't always show everything that's in your life, all your behaviors, all your actions, everything like that. You don't always show that through an email, because you're not gonna sit there and be like, oh yeah, you know, you're not gonna put out stuff like in an email that you think is just gonna be like out of place, even, and like, you know, just like negative, come off in like a bad way, you know what I mean? Even if it's just kind of something that you do, you know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of a fucking slob sometimes, you know what I mean? I'm kind of a lazy motherfucker sometimes, but I'm not gonna be like, oh god, yeah, I'm feeling so good and lazy today, because, or if I did say that, it probably would come off as like a joke, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm just, haha, lazy day, but meanwhile I'm fucking laying in bed in my own fucking filth, naked, fucking covered in sweat, and eating like burritos or some shit, you know? So, if this is you, if you're emailing some chick for like 5 years, and you think that this is gonna be like the way to go, my personal opinion, now, I'm sure there's outliers for everything. Like I always say, no, there's no 100% guarantee on every goddamn thing, you know. But I don't think that's probably going to work out so good. That's just my opinion, all right? But if we take it up to another step, let's say, you know, you could have, like, somebody who you get to know better. Let's say you're not for real, like, IRL, LinkedIn, locked in type of shit, but let's say you get to know each other, but you know, Sally 123, her name is Sally Goldbergstein, and you're Bob, you're Robert McCrody or some shit, I don't know, let's just say, so you know those names. I'm Robert McCrody from Omaha, and you're Sally Goldbergstein from New York, all right. You know, so then now we know this about each other. We're going on Skype, you know, maybe I'm whipping my dick out a couple times, maybe you're flashing me some tits a couple times, you know, we're keeping like a little bit of like a physical, you know what I mean, it's just beyond, you know, like some fucking 40-year-old catfish bitch who's like trying to pretend to be 20 years old, da 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 da. So you got a little bit of like, you know, at least presumably real information, you know. Let's just say for the benefit of the argument and the, you know, the devil's advocate, let's just say that this information that you guys are giving each other is definitely correct, and you're definitely, you know, everything that you try to claim to be, you're not bullshitting to a huge degree. So that's kind of like the next level, but still at the same time, you know, that's like I said, that's another level up from like the email shit, but or like just pure text, pure, you know, sort of semi-anonymous, difficult, you know, not a whole lot of that, you know, the full picture. But that's not going to stop anybody from, you know, there's definitely also, from my experience, and I know this, people who will play that part But at the same time, you know, when the camera goes off, or when the text messages are turned on silent or whatever, they have a whole life. You know, Robert could have a wife, and he's just, you know, maybe his wife's a fucking like findom, you know, cuck queen, fucking psycho who went nuts, and he doesn't want to get divorced because they got a kid, and he doesn't want to lose money, so he's trying to like get like some kind of happiness in his life that's gonna make him want to blow his fucking brains out. And Sally, you know, maybe she's maybe she's kind of the hoe who's you know, she might, you know, be just, you know, with a guy, but she likes to go on and, you know, fuck around with other guys online. Or, you know, I'm not going to be a total anti-woman. Let's say, you know, maybe she's in a bad relationship and she just needs somebody to fucking, you know, get some emotional sponging, you know. There's reasons. But still, like, at the same time. Now, this one, I mean, the way, it depends on how you look at it. Because you could look at it and be like, you know, or I would say like the lowest tier of, you know, just like all text communication or whatever is kind of like the most like silly. But depending on how you're looking at it, you know, if you have like that in-between tier where there's like some physicality and some stronger connection, but it's still remaining like all online, that almost might be, if you're looking at it from the perspective of how this is keeping you from achieving what you could achieve in a healthy non-e-date relationship, you know, that could be like the most unhealthy one, because it's like it's the strongest, you know, but that's never going anywhere. You know what I mean? It's like it's the strongest to keep you locked into like this e-dating, you know, sphere of bullshit, but it's never going anywhere. That's kind of how I was with there was a chick a couple years ago. There was this Mexican chick named Wendy who kind of pulled my strings for a couple months or so, and that was like, you know, I'm trying to think. Yeah, it was really as far as it goes. I mean, because that was a chick who I never met in person at all, you know. There was definitely some talks that we had where, you know, I knew where she lived, supposedly. That's at least what she told me. You know, this is where she told me she lived. She wanted to meet up. She wanted to get, what's the word? Get her back blown the fuck out 3 whiffs from Sunday, get piped down. You know, she was sending me nudie pics and shit. And, you know, at the time, this was probably the second, well, yeah, because it was before the cuckening. So I guess it was probably like the second sort of like semi-serious e-dater relationship I'd had in regards to 4chan. But so it was like I was really into it and everything like that, because like, you know, it was more than just the text. Like I knew her name, I knew where she lived, all this different shit. I don't remember if I told her that much about me though, to be honest. I mean, she knew my name was Mills and everything, but which people don't always even think that's a real name, but you know, but all of a sudden she went, she had been jerking around like 4 different guys from 4chan, and all of a sudden she just kind of went like cold turkey, like she got her fill off that, and she kind of just like cut everybody off. So then that's like, the way I felt after that was, you know, how I described, you know, you get the strongest thing, like you feel like you're like 1 day away, you know, like tomorrow you could wake up and open that door and that girl's gonna be there, because you feel like you know each other so well and you've seen each other and you've done all this stuff so much. And then all of a sudden she logs off because it's fucking internet. She's not, you know, she could be a fucking catfish, anything, you know, she logs off or whatever, never to return. And it's like you kind of suffer maybe a certain particular kind of emotional injury from that, I would say. But then we have, of course, you know, for better or worse, you know, the people who they go and they do the e-dating, but they, you know, it starts online and then they bring it to the real world. Now, I obviously have had very, very bad, experiences with this myself. As I think to this date, what am I at, like? Well, I guess now it'd be, I think, like 6 different girls, maybe, from 4chan over the last 3 years who I've met up with at some point. Well, let's say 6, yeah, that works. And, you know, if you go back and watch my Ask Eggy I did where I talked about the first girl who I was ever with, this is an IRL girl, not anything to do with internet. But, you know, I had, at that time, like the first girl I was ever with, you know, we were intimate, and then I was like, all right, cool, that means we're dating, right? That means, like, that's what it is now, right? And what I've come to experience in, you know, when I guess, you know, I haven't told the full story about this, but basically the first girl who I ever met up with from 4chan, and there was intimacy involved, you know, I had been so long without female contact that it kind of played itself out in this way again, to where, you know, me and this girl, we were intimate, and I felt, you know, that we kind of got along. You know, she seemed like a pretty agreeable person. I thought she was pretty attractive. Everything was pretty cool. Everything was pretty good. But then she kind of was like, you know, we basically had our intimacy, and then she was like, yeah, all right, I'm pretty good on that now. So after, you know, after like knowing each other for like, you know, I mean, I guess we knew each other from some internet shit before that, but like as far as the IRL real contact, you know, it was like after meeting up a few times, she was like, all right, yeah, I'm kind of cool on that. And then she just kind of was like, you know, it was nothing for her to kind of just flip the switch off and be like, all right, later, you know. And so for me, I was like, what the fuck, you know, I thought this was going to be, you know, it's basically like the same shit of, I don't know, I'm trying to think, what's a good comparison? I guess the way I kind of would see myself sometimes as like, you know, these chicks who, they go for Chad, and then Chad, you know, they get pumped and dumped by Chad, and then they're like, oh, you know, why me? I thought I was the one. I kind of almost saw myself as like a male version of this at some point, which probably sounds ridiculous since I've never been seen as like a particularly, you know, delectable morsel of man, you know, any shit like that. But, you know, that's just the consequence. Because, I mean, you could talk to somebody. This is, like, probably the biggest fucking danger when it comes to, like, the final tier of e-dating. I mean, remember on 4chan, how long ago was that? There was this chick. I don't know, this is years ago now. I don't even remember all these fucking people's names anymore. There's some chick on 4chan who was like, oh, you know, actually, fuck. I mean, I was about to tell a story about the chick who was like, she was getting fucked in a park by like a homeless guy or something. After she dated some guy from 4chan, then he caught her like fucking a homeless guy in a park, and she was like fucking animals and all this different stuff. It was really crazy. But that's not even, it's funny, like, she doesn't even need to be pulled up as an example, because it's just women, these e-dater girls in general, you know what I mean? Like, this is how it goes, because they can say whatever the fuck they want, you know? They could be, you know, they'll do like a little bit of catfishing and stuff based. I mean, God, I don't even know. I'm getting flustered right now, you know, because of all the fucking bullshit that I'm thinking of that's coming into my mind right now from all these stupid women. But basically, what you need to look at is, like, they don't fucking tell you the truth, you know, especially when you're going to an e-dater chick, you know, if it's some girl who, you know, if you're like me, there are no women locally. There just aren't. Even if I was, you know, a handsome, rich guy, you know, there might be like one suitable female partner like every few years maybe, you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't exist where I'm from. So you have to go on, you go online and you're out there and you see some chick who it's like, oh, that's the right kind of girl. Oh yeah, she's ticking the boxes. Oh, and she's looking good, da da da, whatever. But everything she's feeding you is bullshit, you know what I mean? She's trying to, these chicks who do this online shit, these fucking like, you know, chicks who go out there and put themselves out there like that, they know they're fucking manipulative people, like even more so than your average woman. And so they know exactly what they're looking for. They know exactly what to do, all the fucking right, you know, little buttons to push and all that shit. So they fucking basically put on this total like camouflage of sorts to fucking dress themselves up in this thing that you think you want. They're trying to figure out, what do you want? Okay, I'm gonna make myself into what you want so I can get what I want out of you, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's a fucking dangerous game, because, you know, I guess if you had a chick, let's say, who was like a hometown girl, you know, you probably know her family, you probably know where she comes from, you probably know what neighborhood she's from, you probably know, you know, some shit about her that's going to give you a general idea of where she comes from, where she's been, you know, and something to expect. But these chicks that you're trying to e-date, you'll have no idea. You know, they'll feed you. They're so good at this. This is how these fucking women operate, you know what I mean? They operate on calculating and fucking, you know, flipping the switch, you know, snapping the fingers and dress themselves up. That's like I was talking about in the Trad Thought video. That's such a big thing nowadays for especially like younger women coming out. Because if you're a chick who's like, you know, let's say early mid-20s, you might have already fallen for some memes, you might have tattoos, you might already have some indicators to have let people know, okay, this is the kind of chick I'm going to be working with, so I gotta, you know, come about the situation like this, I gotta do it like this. But some of these chicks, you know, they're like 18 and they're just as rotten as, you know, some of these chicks with the obvious signs, but they understand that they're not going to get what they want, as easily, as if they, if they look like they're low class and whatever, then that they're gonna be treated a certain way. But if they know how to dress themselves up, do the makeup tutorials on YouTube and shit, wear nice looking clothes, even if they're cheap, they fucking sew some shit themselves, they order it from, these random stores online, whatever the case is, they know how to play this part, to play this like dainty little, fucking bonnet wearing, butter maiden or some shit. So where they can find the guy's gonna be like, oh yes, hi there, hello, there's Bob 123 again, and yes, I finally secured this new 7-figure salary, and and Sally, she was just such a whore, but now I see Mary, and she's such a good-looking young lady. She's 19 years old. She said I'm not going to college because that's college is indoctrination, and she wants to just have a family and get married. She's waiting for the right guy. Oh, this is so perfect. And then you fucking you chat da 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 da. You meet up with Mary and you start dating Mary, and it turns out that Mary was a fucking ex-porn star, was all this different shit that you just don't even know. I mean, she was getting fucking gangbanged 100 times when she was in high school by 10 different football teams at the same time, all this different shit that you would just never even know. But she got out, and kind of assessed, she knew what she wanted. She wanted money and items and attention and whatever else from guys. So she's like, okay, well, how am I gonna get this now? What's the next strategy? And so she adopts this persona. So now, of course, there are instances where I've seen e-dating work for some time, but it's I mean, I wish I could just say like, oh no, but real dating is much better. Honestly, it's even really not. It's fucked up. It's really fucked up because like, I don't want to make e-dating look good either, because I've done e-dating, and you're definitely setting yourself up, or it's a very, very risky endeavor to say the least, because you're basically, just don't even know what you're getting yourself into. But at the same time, when you do know what you're getting yourself into with some of these real chicks, they could be a fucking landmine easy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. That's why I have in the past like espoused MGTOW, because it just seems like there's so little hope a lot of the time. But I pretty much, I've tried to ease up on it. I got other shit to do, you know what I mean? I'm trying to fucking get my own life in check before anything else, you know what I mean? So I just I'm cope selling a little bit, and I'm kind of just like, it is what it is, and it sucks. But if you're an e-dater, I guess that's just the message I want to get out there, is that, be aware of like which tier of e-dater you got. Are you just the fucking little like texter? Are you doing the little video chats and the little, you think you're getting to know each other, you think that your marriage is just on the horizon? Or are you, done all that and you're up to where you're actually dating the chick, you're doing IRL, you're doing all this stuff, and you might be having a fucking, bloodthirsty psychopath in your fucking midst who's ready to just, behead you, decapitate you in your sleep. You don't even know about it, you don't even know what the fuck's going on, you're just like, it's just crazy, it's wild. Or maybe you could be one of the very lucky ones who just happen to luck out and get everything right and everything's all good. I'm sure there's probably some people like that out there. I don't want to discourage anybody if that's kind of where they're at and all that. So, damn, I drank it all up. I still got more time to kill too. Shit, did I have anything else to talk about? Anyways, as you might have seen, I didn't do the. I'm probably not going to be doing any of the fan mail foods now. It's probably just going to be on hiatus for a while, since I was already working on some other shit with it anyway, and now I'm kind of a little bit out of commission, a little bit crippled. So anything extra is going to be just I'm just going to need to take it a little bit at a time, because I really need to make sure that I'm as healed as possible for this much heavier stuff I got coming up next week. So I want to make sure that I'm not screwing myself over for that. So unfortunately, we'll say fan mail foods is probably going to be out of the way for a little while. This is embarrassing, but I'm not going to surrender. I'm not going to surrender. We're going to keep on. We're going to push out these last few minutes. There's got to be something that I'm forgetting to talk about. Woo. Shit. I guess Laura Loomer is a very unattractive person, and she just, ever since that tire bullshit, she's just really rubbed me the wrong way. You know, like, I've always tried to, you know, people talk about e-grifters and people like that who always are, you know, like I talked about in the Trad Thoughts video, like people who try and, you know, espouse a certain particular viewpoint or ideology, but it's really just kind of more for their own benefit than the actual benefit of the total ideology or the viewpoints of the ideology. You know, like say being a conservative traditional woman but refusing to marry, refusing to have kids, all that different shit. And I just want to say, like, you know, I followed Mike Cernovich at one point, and then eventually I was like, you know, I just, you know, no more. Milo Yiannopoulos, I was never really big on anything he did, to be honest. Like, he just wasn't really, he never really did anything for me. Like, I mean, he was probably one of like the least followed people like in the alt light and shit like that from like, you know, last couple years that I really had anything to do with, which I'm really glad now, because obviously he's totally, since, you know, whenever, I couldn't maybe pinpoint the exact time that I said this guy's totally disgusting, but I mean, that's pretty self-evident, I suppose. But people like Laura Loomer, whew, man, she looks like a goddamn wax museum statue of herself come to life. A wax statue of Lady Gaga that got beat up a couple times with a fucking sledgehammer or something, and they tried to like smooth it back out without really giving it a decent repair. That is pretty much what Laura Loomer looks like, and it is just not good. So see here. Also, I think I've commented on this probably a couple times now. I'm not really sure, but I just want to restate again that it just is ridiculous to me how, with all this Hollywood shit going on lately, with all of these, you know, sexual exploitations of people being brought to the light, how people can so totally intentionally miss the mark on what the real message is here about Hollywood is full of fucking pedophiles and rapists and Satan worshipers, all that shit. I'm seeing people who comment and they're like, you know, well, Harvey Weinstein, you just can't say anything bad about Harvey Weinstein if you don't put, you know, Trump is really the worst because Trump was our president and he brags about raping women. And, you know, and as myself, as a black trans woman, you know, I'm the most oppressed person in the whole world, and, you know, I refuse to put anybody else, you know, under scrutiny, under criticism before we drag out that goddamn Drumpf, that goddamn rapist Drumpf. He needs to be impeached. And I'm like, okay. All right, I understand that, but do you not see that our fucking entire entertainment industry, which arguably in the young person's mind has more power than actual political positions, like they will fucking, you know, they whatever politics, they're very politically charged, but if they see a fucking celebrity saying blah 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 blah, you know, for these random these videos that they had last year, like whatever it was, the vote or whatever, or bring out the vote, I can't remember what the fuck it was even called, but you had, you know, all these celebrities saying, you know, Donald Trump, he's a racist, vote for Hillary, hashtag I'm with her. And it's like, all right, so, you know, a lot of people are probably influenced by these celebrities for whatever reason. You know, thankfully I've never been like that, but, you know, these people, if they're going and saying the shit and then going to a fucking satanic ritual where they're having blood sacrifices with random missing children and all this crazy shit, you know, maybe we should, you know, really just try and focus on that for a minute and say, hey, what the fuck's going on here, and kind of, you know, get these people exposed, get them blown the fuck out, and then we can, you know, maybe have a little more conversation after that. But anyway, thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of Egg Wars. Appreciate you tuning in with me today. I'll try and heal up as good as I can, but until next time, my friends, take it easy.